Hey guys, my name is Melanie Ludy and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to tackle the second video in the Google Classroom series and go over the Classwork tab. So we're going to work on the Classwork tab today. So let's check out our first class. So I'm going to pick 7A. I'm going to click Classwork here. And you'll notice right at the top there's a button that says Create. When I click that, I get this drop-down menu of options. Assignment, quiz assignment, question, material, reuse, post, and topic. So let's hit topic first. So topic is just how you're gonna organize your information in Google Classroom. Think of them like folders. So I have a classwork topic already, so let me pick like week 4 if I wanna organize by week. So let me create an assignment. So create assignment, and then it brings up this screen. So here I would put my title. So I'll write participation week 4. And then I'll include my instructions like please complete the rubric. And then let's look at this box over here. So I can choose what classes it goes to. So 7A, I could also send it to 7B. If I stick with one class, I could choose which students I want. I only have one, so it doesn't make a difference here. Say if you wanted to create level work for your students, this would be a great way to do it. I can also choose my points, and I have the option to do ungraded if I like. So here I'm just gonna type it in, and mine is 10, so I'll leave it at that. I could pick a due date using the calendar, so I'll say Friday, and I can pick a time, which is optional. The importance of putting the date and time on here is that it'll put it on their calendar for any student who has joined your class. This comes in super handy when you're letting students know about work and helping them stay accountable. And then here I can choose one of those topics that I already created, or I can create a new one. I'm gonna put this in week 4. So let's add an assignment. So if I add something from my drive, let's say this document that I have queued up, and then it tells me my options. So I have the option of students viewing the same file. This is really better for a material like a story that you want them to read. They can view and edit the same single file. So I've been having my students edit a single PowerPoint file where different breakout rooms complete different slides. That has been really great because it takes my students forever to type in emails to share a document with their group members. This way everybody has access right away and they can just get to doing the work rather than figuring out tech difficulties. And then the last option is each student gets their own copy. I use this one 9 times out of 10. Every student has their own copy. If I didn't have a document all queued up, I could create one here. And I can choose from docs, slides, sheets, drawings, and forms. Anything I would like. You can also attach a Jamboard here if you wanted to do that. I find those have been really helpful with my students. And let's look at this rubric over here. So you can create, reuse, or import from sheets. I generally like to create in Google Classroom and then I'll reuse the same one. First we set our Criterion title, so let me say grammar here. It's an easier one. And then I can set my levels. So 2 points, and then I'll also set one for 0 points here. So I click the plus signs on either side to add a criterion in that direction. So then I could put this as beginner, and then I could write a description of like 3 grammar errors or more, etc., etc. I can click these 3 dots if I ever want to change one of these levels or just delete them. And you'll notice that it automatically said, oh, your highest is 2, so I'm going to make this out of 2. I can then add another criterion down here and keep going until I am happy with my rubric. These 3 dots up here just give me the option to delete the rubric if for some reason I decide to not go for it. And then of course you're gonna hit the save button. and then you'll see the little rubric comes up down here. Now up here, I can just hit the assign button if I want them to see it now. But if I want them to say, have it as a pop quiz, I could load it up on Tuesday, but not have it shown to them until Thursday when we're really gonna take that quiz. So I hit this arrow over here and I can hit schedule. And then I can just pick my day and time and hit schedule. Okay, so another thing I can do is I can add a quiz. I love adding forms that grade themselves. So if I hit create, I can go quiz assignment. I can also add a rubric again. So when I hit quiz assignment, it automatically generates a blank quiz for me. So I can go into this quiz and I could write it from here. So maybe I'll write ice cream quiz 2. And then I can put a description here. Please take this until you get a 100%. Thank you. And I would just click here on that question and write my question. So what is the best flavor of ice cream? And then I can add my options like vanilla and chocolate, and we'll say strawberry, and for convenience sake, coffee, because it's just easier to type than mint chocolate chip. So because it created it as a quiz assignment, it already made it a quiz in my settings. So we went to the settings menu of this Google form. In general, I'm gonna hit collect email addresses. This is gonna put a name on every quiz, so I don't have to guess whose quiz is whose. If I do not click this box, it's just gonna say response 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be great for an anonymous survey, but not for a quiz that we need to give them a grade for. I'm gonna limit to 1 response. If you make your own form, you won't have to click that button, so they could take it until they get a 100%. That's gonna be up to you on whatever quiz you like. Presentation, you can show progress bar or shuffle question order. I generally don't because there is a progression to my questions, but if that suits you, have at it. And then quizzes. So this button is already toggled that says make this a quiz. It'll release the grade immediately after each submission, or you could turn it on later after manual review. So if you're gonna have short answer questions on your Google form, you might click this later after manual review button. I can't tell you how many students have emailed me thinking they failed a quiz when I just hadn't gone in and physically graded it yet. Okay. Respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, and point values. All of this looks good to me, so I'm gonna hit save. So then you'll see that it has this email address in here for collection, answer key. So if I click this button, it'll let me pick the correct answer and it'll let me set a point value. So I'm gonna pick chocolate because it is the superior flavor. And then I use these little arrows to select my point values, or I could just type it in here. I could even put answer feedback here for incorrect and correct answers. This would be a great way to create your own adventure as well. So incorrect answers, you could put a link to whatever video they need to go back and rewatch, or correct answers could get a link to another video so they could answer the next question, or whatever you wanted to do. The world is your oyster. Once I am done selecting the correct answer and the point value, I hit done. I also have the option to mark this as required, which I always do, especially short answer questions, because I have a couple students who will just put in random letters to avoid answering it. I can then duplicate the question, say it has the right format I want. So like I could duplicate it and then just change this to worst ice cream flavor. I can then go change the answer key and put coffee ice cream. You can have it select multiple options. That has to be up to you. Disclaimer, if you forget to put an answer key in or you put in the wrong answer by accident, once you go back and change it, all of your scores will be updated. It will be okay, it's not the end of the world, just so you know. So now that I finished making this quiz, I'm gonna make sure I title it here and here. It does me no good if it's labeled brand quiz. So keep in mind that I named this one quiz 2. So I refreshed my page and it brought up this quiz for me. So I'm gonna assign it to both classes, which means it goes to every student in each class. I'm gonna make it 10 points, and I'm gonna make the due date Friday at 11:59 p.m. Sounds great. And I'll put it in week 4. I'll fill in my title, and then you can put instructions in here if you like. I'm then gonna hit assign. So then we see it show up in this week 4 right here. If I had a quiz already made though, I'm gonna go to assignment, and then I would add it here as that form that I did. Ice cream quiz number 1. And I could insert it here and do my same deal. So you can create the quiz when you're creating the assignment, or you can create the quiz before. It just depends on how you work best. So one of the other options you can do is a question. So this, if you're familiar with online learning, would be your discussion board. So you would type the question here. So I'm gonna type in, what is the best flavor of ice cream? And yes, I do have an obsession with ice cream. And then I can choose my answer, multiple choice or short answer. It suits me right now to do short answer. Sidebar, if you've ever done an online class, I'm sure you've done a discussion board. Just like in those classes, I recommend having a date and a word limit for the initial response and any responses to peers. It makes it far easier for you to grade it and for them to know what is expected. I can also add a document here of any kind, say from Google Drive, a link that I found, a file off my computer, or say a YouTube link that I found. I could also create something here if I wanted. And then I click over here and I find my students that I want, I figure out my points, my due date, topic, and then these boxes here. Students can reply to each other, students can edit their answer. I generally just have this first box ticked off. I don't usually change this one because I do grade them on grammar and conventions. And then you would hit the ask, or you could also schedule it, discard and save draft. Okay, so these things, they're just floating around. They don't have a topic right now. The beauty of this is that I can just drag and drop them anywhere I want. I can even move things from one tab to another topic. However I want to do it, if I want to make sure participation's at the top, I can drag it to the top of the list. It's really whatever I choose. So let's keep going. Material. So material is just going to have it as a view only. They will not be able to edit it. They will not be able to make changes. A quick disclaimer about materials. They work best if that's the second copy of whatever material you like. So if there's a video you want them to watch or a story you want them to read, make it a material as a second copy and include the first copy with the actual assignment. I find that the closer together I put the material and the assignment, the more likely I am to get the assignment back completed. In the same document is the best option, but in the same assignment will work most of the time. Back to the video. So if I wanted to put in this ice cream graphic that I made, which is literally just a million pictures of me with my ice cream because there are too many, I could scroll down and find it as a slide, and there it is. They will not be able to edit it. It'll be safe that way. And then I can just pick my topic and my classes. So then we have this option to reuse a post. So I click reuse, and then I can go to any class that I want to reuse a post from. I'm gonna actually stick with A though, and I'm gonna reuse this post reflection week 1. Reuse, and then it brings all of this back up for me. I can choose the other class to put it in. I can choose different directions. I could add an attachment if I wanted, anything that I would like. Okay. Say I publish this reflection here and there's nothing on it, and I put it in every class. What can I do? So you have two options. You could go into each class and add the document. So like I'll be here and I will add this document right here. What is the best flavor? I have the option of view or edit. If I want every student to have their own copy, I would have to create the assignment all over again. However, Because we have the reuse post option, this would be very easy for me to do. So let me close out of this assignment and let me go up here to create and reuse post. So I'm gonna hit reflection week 1, reuse. This time, I'm gonna put a star in front of this one so we know that this is the second version. This time, I'm gonna add the document that I forgot to attach the first time. And I hit insert. Now I have all 3 options because this is not published to any class yet. So then I can hit make a copy for each student, and I can put it in my other class too, along with my points, due date, and I'm gonna leave it in classwork. Then I would hit assign. Other things to notice in this tab: Google Calendar and the Class Drive folder. So Class Drive folder, this will take you to the teacher view of it, and it'll show the templates and the assignments and anything else that I wanted to put in here. Google Calendar will take me to the calendar, and it'll even show me when certain things are due. So like over here, I have this participation week 4, complete the rubric, and there's a link to the assignment all in one detail. And then down here I have these 2, ice cream quiz 2 for A and B. Okay, so now that we've looked at what it looks like on the teacher side, let's look at it from the student perspective, so you know what your students are looking at. So I've signed in as the student account on this, and here's this 7A science class. I'm gonna click on this. I have the stream here. Go ahead and check the I for last week's video on the stream. I have the classwork, and I have the people tab. I do not have the grades tab that the teacher view does. Instead, I have this view your work button. So when I click that view my work button, it shows me all of the things that are assigned, missing, and graded. I can go to just the assigned, the returned work. So this is what happens when I grade things, and missing. So this shows that I'm missing this assignment over here. Let's go back to classwork. So the material is gonna show up in gray, letting me know that's not something I need to do. But let me take this ice cream quiz quick. So I click on the assignment, I click this. Here I would put in my email address. Okay, and then I'm gonna answer these questions. So chocolate is the best, and I think I said coffee is the worst, and I hit submit. I can then view my score. At the top right here, it tells me my total score, 10 out of 10, and it shows me my correct answers. So I'm gonna hit this open assignment button, and it's gonna take me here to the assignment in Google Classroom. And you'll notice it says talk with your teacher. Private comments are only visible to you and your teacher. So I could leave a comment right here saying, wow, that quiz was easy. Or if your students are struggling, that would be a great place for them to write, Ms. Ludy, can I please redo this quiz? I also have the option to unsubmit. When it's a quiz or a Google form, there's not going to be work attached, but it will sync to your students' work. Class comment over here would be for the entire class to see. So maybe if I'm saying great team, or Ms. Ludy, a lot of us are having problems with this question. Could you clarify for us? That's where I would have them put that. So then I can go to 7A and classwork again. I can track my progress with view your work. Let me do this discussion board. So this would be a class comment. This is where I would put a question, not my answer. I had many students use this as their answer instead of this box over here in the corner. So my answer, chocolate ice cream, because it is far superior to vanilla. There we go. And then I would hit turn in. It tells me I won't be able to make changes. Once I put in my answer, I can see classmate answers, but not before. So your students always have to put in their answer first before they can look at other students, relieving you of that worry that they'll cheat up other students. Under each student that put in an answer, I can hit reply. So this is how I would reply to my peers. And I would write agreed or whatever it was and submit. And then you could be able to see that there. Last thing I want to show you in here is when I check the View My Work tab now, it'll show me those additional things that I've turned in. Okay, so I'm back in my teacher account, so then I can look at grades. So me as a student has turned in these two things. Next week's video, we'll get into how we would grade these things and what it looks like from our side once they've turned things in. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video on Google Classroom. Be sure to check out the rest of them that I've linked up in the eye. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button down below and hit the thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.